we are going live. I will be, excuse me, with you in a moment. If you're watching the replay, please just fast forward about 7 minutes. I'm going to sort of let the room fill up, get some stuff ready. Share the video, all that jazz. So it will be just a moment. How are you? Excuse me. How are you all, by the way? I am just sharing in a couple places and then printing out some photos to do some image transfers. And then I will be right there to join you. Hard to decide what to print. I've been collecting so much over the last few. Hi, Dina. Hi, Dora. Hello, Angela. Hope that you're all well. I'm just going to print what I have here. And then I'll be there to join you and we'll get started. Okay. Make sure I have you up on the big screen so we can chat like normal people. So how are you all, by the way? Did I forget to ask that? I meant to ask that. Hello to everyone who's here. I am going to continue working in this coin envelope based journal, and I've started working on some tags with that. Here I am a big vintage photo collector, so here are a couple of photos I've collected. I've scanned them in and print them out, and these will be available as digital downloads soon. I just don't have them quite done. And then I have a couple things to share with you, some of the fun things I've been. There's a whole bunch of photos in here. I don't have very many of these scanned yet, but I thought I'd show you. Look at this guy. Some of my favorites. Look at this boy on this rock. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lynn. There's tons of photos in here, and some of them I have to do a bit of work to, but look at these ladies. Aren't they fabulous? So these will all be these gentlemen. Ooh, look at this lady with this hat. I think I showed some of these already to the supporters, but some of the stuff you didn't see that just came in today. So I'm working on some books for ephemera collage ephemera. Look at these collage fodder. Look at this lady. And I'm working on a couple different kinds that will be really, really great, but I'm working on one that is specifically, hi Debbie, umbrellaed people. I don't know. It depends on whatever I can find. But look at this umbrella lady that I purchased. This is a cabinet card in Hickory Farm, Aunt Priscilla. Look at how incredible this one is. I think I have to put it at an angle for you to see because of the shine. Excuse me. And then these are two tin types. So I'm not, these are new to me. I haven't had tin types before, but I couldn't leave these behind. So both of these are great. There's two ladies with umbrellas in each of these. Can you get a good look at them? I have to wait for the camera to catch up. Oh, it's a little too far. What if I just bring it closer? tintypes are definitely harder to showcase in a live camera. But aren't they beautiful? So yeah, lots of working on gathering lots of great umbrella photos to make a book out of. So got lots of ideas going. Can't wait to get that to you guys. Lots of works in progress. But I want to do some image transfers tonight because I've just been digging on all these pictures I've been downloading or uploading. I mean, I'm purchasing the original photographs so that they won't be ones that are out there somewhere else. All right, so I've got my people, my 2 photographs. I've got my envelopes. I've got my tags. I need a big paintbrush. Whoops, sorry. And I've got my golden fluid matte medium, which is definitely my drug of choice as far as image transfers go. Everyone's different. You find what works for you. This is what works for me, and I will be sticking with it. I've also got my MWOW Studio squirt bottle. Needs a little refill. Got that. All good. Okay, now I have to decide if I want these people on a tag, which this would be a great place to put a person. I don't want somewhere that has a lot of black already just because these images are small and the tags are small. So either of those would be great. This would be good. This would be good. Or do I want them on a tag or do I want them somewhere in my book? I think, excuse me, kind of phlegmy. I apologize. I want this lady here. And I think that with the plant and the sort of collage that's already happening, this will look really great there. Now, this guy's on a chair, which I lost a little bit of in working on, I need my brain to work. When I was working on the levels, the contrast of the picture and the sort of the deepness. I'm going to cut 2 specific edges. So I'll explain what I mean by like why, but I want 2 flat surfaces so I know where the edge of the picture is. But when it comes to all of like this side and this side, so I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to image transfer it this way. Yeah, I like that idea, Dean. I think I'm going to try that, one of each. But I'm positioning this so that when she flips over, like I definitely want the barn in there and I want her. And I want to come into this plant here. I'm just getting straight to work, by the way. So let me know if you have any questions or if I'm going off the rails here. But I'm going to tear the edge over here so that it looks more organic and not just like a straight flat cutoff. And then the top won't matter as much because it's white, but I'll do that just in case. And I'm going to try to stay close to the top of that tree because I want that tree to go up to the top. And the top of that tree will go at the edge of the paper. So even though I said I was going to tear it, I'm going to cut it so I can see exactly where that is. I like that. I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to set some of this stuff to the side so it's out of the way. I have my squirt bottle. I'm going to come in with my matte medium and a paintbrush. And the first thing I'm going to do is cover my paper, my image, in matte medium. I did print this on a laser jet, so the toner has been heated to set in the paper, and that does make a difference. You would not do this particular image transfer technique with a laser jet printer, which would be liquid ink. That would not work for what we're doing here. That is a different type of process that needs a different type of medium. So I'm covering where I want the image to go, and I'm going to come back over here and re-dampen the image a little bit, not a ton. Make sure I put my brush in water because that's an acrylic binding medium, which definitely will wreck those bristles. I want to overlap a little bit there, and then I'm going to burnish. So I'm going to press the paper to the paper, the image to the book really, really well. And you could even use like a bone folder or a credit card or something like that, just to make sure that you're getting really, really, really good contact between the two pieces of paper. It's important because you want that ink to transfer, and we're using the gel medium to make that happen. So that's what's going to capture the ink and transfer it to the coin envelope underneath. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Annie. Let's see. What do I got close at hand? I could use this. Just really press it on. Make sure it's good. And then for the sake of tonight's show, I'm going to heat it dry. If I were doing this at a different time or on my own, I would set this to the side and come back later after all of the gel medium had time to actually cure. But in this case, I'm going to heat it and help it along. All right, yeah, that seems pretty good. All right, just so I don't have a whole bunch of excess stuff, I'm going to cut off some of this paper here. That way it's not in my way. And as you can see, my envelope base is kind of crazy, so I'm going to clamp that down. This can go out this way. Oh, I forgot that there was the wheat stencil from Mama Studio on that side too, so that's going to be cool. And I'm going to dampen this paper backing. So the whole point now, because we just want the ink to transfer, we're going to rub in a circular motion this paper backing off and leave the ink behind. So there you can see our girls start to be revealed. And I love the difference between the gesso and the craft that pokes out from underneath. And I just keep dampening and going back and forth, removing some of this paper pulp to reveal just the ink. And it does take a little practice till you get really used to how image transfers work and how heavy-handed you can be, should be, shouldn't be, how much work it's going to take. And it's easier if you go slower and do a little less at the beginning, and then you can come back and take more off. Because if you just go in sort of heavy-handed and start rubbing stuff away, you have a chance of pulling up too much. I am trying to make sure that I'm not getting the coin envelope too wet. It is paper-based, and doing so can cause it a little bit of damage. So I can block that off and then mist again. And just a nice fine mist. It doesn't have to be soaked. Then when I've gotten to a spot that I think I'm pretty good with, I'm actually going to come back in with fluid matte medium again. Make sure my brush is fairly clean. And I'm going to put a sealing layer on top. And so that's going to soak into those fibers that might be left on top. And help them stay clear on my piece. And then I'm going to heat it dry. It does look awesome on the craft. I've always really enjoyed doing image transfers on top of other things. Like a lot of people tend to put them on top of white, but you can put them on patterns, pattern paper. You know, you can put them on collages, mixed media, pieces, master boards. In this case, on top of a craft base. Like it just looks so good. It really does. Really, really neat. Yeah, she's a winner for sure. All right, I'm going to do the gentleman. Hi, Pam. Oh, good, Annie. Definitely. Please do. Oh, these are the wrong tags. So Unwow Studio has a great selection of digitals available right now, but I am really expanding that soon. So keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep a lookout. Guess I got kind of crazy with that one. I'm gonna do this guy on the tag, and I'm gonna try to cover the whole tag with this guy. I think that would be really incredible. So I am gonna cut pretty close to the edge of the picture so I can see where it's at. Because you kind of play a little bit haphazardly with how your image lays down. And I think that it would be really incredible if it was centered like right about here. So, let's try it. Let me get out a piece of vellum and see. How about that? I would think so. And I think it would be really incredible. Here's a piece of vellum. Let me, okay, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this image transfer on the tag because I really want this guy in there to match the girl. I felt like with both of them having nature in the background, it'd be really good. And then I'll go print out another image while this one's drying and we can try an image transfer here. I really do just plan on doing image transfers today. And if this works out, then I can include this in the book too, right? Which is really friggin' great. Also, all my wash brushes are dirty. Nope, not all of them. Just kidding. Found one. Okay. So what I'm going to do this time is I am going to, sorry, I try to fix that. I am going to apply matte medium to this gentleman, and then I'm going to apply matte medium to the tag, and I'm going to come back with a layer of matte medium. So you want it to be fairly thin, but it needs to stay wet long enough that you can really press the two together. So I got that guy, and then I'm going to try to place this down this way. So I have a better idea, I think, of where everything's going to end up. And I think that's going to help me. And I really wish I had cleaned out my water, but I didn't. Such a bad girl. Such a bad, bad girl. How are you all, by the way? Chat with me while I make it so my brush doesn't dry out, but I think it really is my last clean wash brush right now. So I'm just going to wrap it in a damp towel so that that gel medium doesn't dry in there. This is going to dry right here. I'm going to go print out another picture real quick, but you chat to me while I do that. I have to find another outdoor picture that's going to match. Like, I wonder if I have a little kiddo or, I don't know. I'm going to pull up some stuff and see. It'll only take me a moment. I promise. Oh, I found the one. Okay. I love when it happens quick like that. Okay. It's really cool. I meant to have all these online today before you guys showed up, but oh, good job, Pam. I am on the I get to start like making an appointment April 5th, I believe. Lynn, I'm really glad they arrived. Pam, I hear ya. It's all gonna be fixed soon. You know, everyone's trying. That's all right. I don't like how it printed. Hold on just a second. I apologize. I think I need to sharpen this picture a little. Here it comes. Okay, so I found this car, and I do realize it lost a little bit of its contrast as well, but that's okay. I think depending on how I do it, it's going to look nice. Of course, as it got smaller, it lost some stuff too, but... And these are not what the digitals look like on Wow Studio. They're straight up perfect scans. This is just after I've done a little photo manipulation to fit my use here. I say that and then I maybe over manipulated them a little bit, but oh, I can't wait to do that. Yeah, let's try this. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing that I've already done. I'm going to use fluid matte medium. I'm going to cover the image in a thin layer, thin, even layer. The even part is important also. Oh, you can see it's going to work. That ink had already started to transfer to the vellum. So that's going to be really cool, right? Because then the vellum is going to have that see-throughness to it that regular paper does not have. That's exciting. I'm glad you asked about that. I can't wait to see how it goes. Thanks, Lynn. Hi, Tina. So this one, the burnishing is really important. Make sure there's good contact there. And then we're going to come back to this guy and see how he turned out. How are you tonight, Tina? Halfway through the work week, so that's good. Okay, so I'm following the same steps. This is how image transferring works for me. So there are lots of different techniques. If it doesn't work for you, I urge you to look up some of the other techniques. I do have been thinking about doing some videos on some of the different techniques that are out there. But this one's my favorite. It works for me. It works well for me. I get great results each time. But you have to get used to it. Like, you have to put the time in, put the effort in. It's not going to be 100% every time. You have to work at the technique until it works for you. I think sometimes people forget that. And they don't want to put in the time and dedication that it takes to really build up a skill. But it's a skill, right? It's not a given. So you do have to work for it. You have to work at it, and you can't give up after the first try. People get frustrated with this technique very easily, but it's my favorite. I did get a little heavy-handed here, and I erased part of that guy's head. And that kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie, but I did it. So I'm going to move on with it and see how it goes. It does look really cool on the tag, though. That's for sure. Yeah, I think this is kind of like the standard, if there were a traditional way, this is it. The results are almost always great. And even when there's a mess up, like, I really enjoy it. So, and I love that this this tag reinforcement is black from painting those last week or the week before or a couple weeks ago, whenever that happened. Okay, so I officially only have one clean wash brush left. My water is dirty, so when I pull up my brush out of it, it's not pretty. It has gray to it, and I don't want to seal this with that. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to do this one, and then I will seal them both with my last brush. Let's see if this works. Oh, I'm going to heat this because it hasn't been forever. Like the other one had time to dry. This one hasn't yet, so I'm going to help it along. Oh, good, Tina. I'm glad that it's getting better and better. This has got like really wrinkly and curled and crumpled up, so I'm pretty interested to see. I do use a laser printer only, so this technique will not work with an inkjet printer. So an inkjet printer is liquid ink that sits on the surface of the paper. A laser jet printer or a laser printer is a powdered toner that instead of a liquid ink that gets baked to the paper. So it's like permanent. It's not going to run. And then we're able to do image transfers because we're using an acrylic binder. This fluid matte medium is an acrylic-based product, and it bonds to the ink, and then we rub away the paper. And that's why we use such a thin layer, because we only want it to touch the ink layer. We don't want it to really soak into the paper. Otherwise, now it's a collage, and we end up with like a weird white piece. So when you're spreading your gel medium around, make sure you don't do this side. You're only doing the inked side of the paper and one side of whatever you're transferring to. And because I'm experimenting and don't know if this is going to work, I'm going to come at it just like I would the others. I'm going to dampen it and work the paper off and see what happens. That was a good question, Lisa. Thank you. And it gave me the opportunity to sort of explain more why that is, why I use a laser jet. Now, there are products out there that work with inkjet, and they just have some other sort of medium in them that I'm unfamiliar with because I've always had a laser jet. So don't think that you have to buy a laser jet printer. You just have to check into the other types of mediums that there are. And there are other ways to do image transfers as well. This is not the only way. And if you have a laser jet, an inkjet, then those may work better for you also. So check this out, Dina. Oh, thank you for saying that, Tina. I really, really enjoy teaching. So it's fun when you guys show up to hang out and see what's going on. And especially like this, when Dina says, what happens if? Oops, I really like that too. I love experimenting and figuring things out. So I am 100% going to say that you can image transfer on Vellum. And then how interesting is it that it's so foggy on this side? It's really, really sort of difficult to see, which I think is fun as well. But yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? It's really cool. Yeah, Lisa, don't think you have to go out and buy a laser jet printer. I mean, they are certainly more affordable now than they ever had been, but there's a medium, and I'll try to find it. It comes in a jar. I just took off a big chunk there, and that will happen for two reasons. This right here I know is because I didn't have enough gel medium down, and I can tell that because it's in the shape of a brush stroke. So that means I want Vellum Post-its, Tina. Send me that link. I'm sorry. So this means I wasn't careful applying my gel medium. This up here, because it came off in sort of like a blobby shape rather than a brush stroke, that means that my gel medium was thicker there and didn't get a chance to dry. So then when I got it wet and rubbed it with my fingers, it actually took up all of it that was still wet. It hadn't had a chance to cure. So those are the two sort of reasons that you might have pieces missing in your image transfer. Lynn is very right. Any copy shop, whether it's like a small town copy shop or it's a public library or it's a like Office Max or Office Depot, one of them bought the other one. I never remember which one it is. All of them will have laser printers because in the long run, toner ink, well, it's a powder, not an ink, but toner is more affordable in the long run. And also it's permanent. So, you know, it doesn't run if it gets wet, which is why this type of image transfer works so well. All right, so I think this is pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to brush off sort of the excess little bits that are hanging out on top from rubbing. And I'm going to dampen this guy just a little to cut back on some of the fogginess of the paper bits that were left there. And now with my last clean brush, I'm going to seal both of these. And so by doing it while the ink is, the layer is damp, there's a little bit of water there, it's soaked into those fiber bits and made them almost invisible. So I don't even have to image transfer 100% perfectly because the last little fiber bits that were on top are now clear by being wet. And then I'm throwing on that layer of matte medium that's going to cure them while they're still clear. Sounds crazy, but that's how I've always done it, and it absolutely works. That might be it, Debbie. What's it say? Does it say that it's specifically for image transferring inkjet printers? Because I couldn't even remember whatsoever what the name was, and I mean, that's not necessarily ringing a bell, but that would be because I'm not that interested in it, right? Which is not great as a teacher. I should have, you know, I should remember that. Just because I don't use it doesn't mean it's not important. So I do apologize about that, but Debbie may be absolutely on the right track there, you guys. Yeah, so I do really like the Vellum one. I think I would have liked it better if I had not rushed the editing I was doing on my photo over there. You know, with more contrast and maybe still seeing the car a bit. And there is a man in the car, but it's really hard to see. But that's okay. Just the idea is fun. And we know it works. That's the best part. I'm so glad you asked, Dina. Now, this is Vellum. I don't know if it would work on acetate. I don't think that it would. And I don't have any acetate out right now, but I will try that later or next week or something, and we'll figure it out. Now, Vellum does have, you know, some plastic to it, so I can't heat it too much. You saw it start to curl there. But yeah, look at it. It is cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it is dreamy for sure. And again, if you flip it over, like if you had enough contrast, like a really great, like you could do stripes or polka dots or something, not so heavily detailed like a photo. Well, but even the house looks really cool. Makes a great piece for sure. For sure. And I love this guy. I love how he looks on the tag. I am sad that I'm missing his forehead a little bit, but it is what it is. And I wasn't sure or am not sure how I'm going to include these in here But I'd really like to have him upright and kind of by his lady too. I don't know. That's later, I think. And now I really want this in here too. I want to stitch this. Maybe it's just the dreamy house and the front of the car there. Is that weird? I could find a place for the whole thing, I think. I could trim it down some. So there's a border. I just really like the way the house looks. This process, I call this trying it out. So I'm moving it around. Ooh, I really like it opposite this page. And it could be, a tip-in. It doesn't have to be permanently on there. But when I move stuff around and I'm trying it in different positions, in different compositions, in different orientations, on different pages, like I like to refer to that as trying it out. It's like trying on clothes. Like I'm testing the waters. And I think that is an important part of the process. A lot of people will say, well, artist intuition, you just know where it goes. And that is possible and that can happen. And that does absolutely happen to lots of people, sometimes to me too. But I think that until you've got that down, or even after you've got that down, it's important to continue trying things, because this looks incredible across from this that's happening. And I was trying really hard to keep it close to the lady on the other side. But if I hadn't tried this out, I wouldn't know just how good this looks, right? And that's okay. Like it's not a bad thing to try things out. And I don't want you to feel, or anyone to feel like, well, I didn't know that it would look that good there. Like, don't feel guilty. Just try it out. Try things. Move it around. I'm trying to decide now how much I want to cut off. Like maybe this envelope tab is the perfect place to stop it. Okay, Debbie. Well, so everybody check that out, and that might work for you. I do appreciate that. I don't have any, but I'll take a look too. I got a new paper trimmer and I love it. And I wasn't sure whether I would, but now I have to get it out because I kind of put it away. They're big and don't always sit well on my desk. But I got the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, and I'm glad it's working out well. All right, so I'm going to cut off about right here. Oh, well, I could tear it. I'm going to tear it. I like that torn edge. Check that out. I knew that was going to happen. I always want just a little bit off the edge, and then it always goes right off the edge. There we go. I love that. And then it'll be fun to put some words there. And I'm going to do a little bit of stitching here. And look, this part of the house is actually still really cool also. So if I put this here, then I could use this Vellum house somewhere else. I'm so sorry. I'm just looking for my stitching stuff. I keep it in a little square container so I don't lose it. And my friends will tell you that I cleaned up this week, so I set it somewhere and I'm unsure where. Thinks it's being smart hiding from me. This is funny that this keeps curling like this. I wonder if it's the gel medium or the heat or the water on the vellum that's making it do that. Oh, good. I found it. Okay. I was going to say, I don't want to keep looking much longer, but I found it in the nick of time. And actually now that I'm here, I know exactly what I want to do. Going to get a needle, and I want some white. I think I want white. But I want to put like a little tab on there, I think. Or a big tab. Do we want a big tab? No, I want a little one. Not little, like thinner. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then after all of that, looking for my stitching bucket, which, by the way, looks like this. I'm actually going to run it through the sewing machine. I want a darker machine stitch sew. So I'm going to do that really quick. Oh, I've been getting in so many products for the website. I'm kind of tight for space, but I got to show you something I forgot to show you at the beginning. And I just keep my machine close by. It's not easy to move it on and off my desk. And as soon as we have a space, then it'll have its own permanent spot on my desk because I just use it that often. But there we go. Little stitcheroo. Looks good. And I always like some fibers hanging off. And I do love how dreamy it is. It's really nice, Dina. I'm so glad you asked about that. What made you think of vellum, Dina? Yes, I know, a sneak peek. Okay, so how crazy do you want to get? Are we like topless in New Orleans crazy? Or are we an extra margarita on Thursday crazy? You tell me. Totally crazy? Because we can get really crazy here. We do only have about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to pause this and we're going to get crazy. So if you're here for the art, that's over. We did image transfers. It was really great. We did them on the coin envelopes. Let's do a quick recap before we get crazy. We did one image transfer on Vellum, which worked out friggin' fantastic. We did an image transfer on a tag, which is also fantastic. And then my girl, oh, she's on the other side. She flips this way. And my girl. So that's our recap. We have 10 minutes left. We're going to get crazy. You ready? Okay, so I have to start off by saying my wax seals are not here yet. Okay, but I did order a shit ton of wax. And it just beat the wax seals here. So we're going to have every color that you may or may not need. And if you bought the original kits, it's not, the wax seals aren't going to come that way anymore. So you'll be able to pick and choose what color of wax you receive, which wax seal you get. So instead of it being like a kit and you getting 100 spoons each time you buy a wax seal, like you don't need spoons anymore, right? So the spoons will be listed separately. The wax is going to be listed separately. The wax seals will be listed separately on the website. So you'll be able to pick and choose what works well for you. Oh, it's so much wax, you guys. So there's like coral. This is more teal than like aqua. Like it's more green than blue, but it is tealy color. Look at this navy one. I got the navy. I thought it mix like 2 pellets of this with half a pellet of black and get like a gorgeous Payne's gray. We're going to have like a, yeah, the camera just alters it a little bit. It is beautiful. I wouldn't have picked it if it wasn't. But I think we're going to have a whole play date just on mixing wax and making new, like different wax colors. I have this many more in there still. Look at this is like, look at how pretty this is. Hi, Leanne. How are you? I also got transparent. Look at this one. I restocked white and black as well. And here, this is like Tiffany blue is their name for it. I would call it like a slate blue, like it's almost gray, but not quite. Like it's nice. I did stock a lot of the bluish ones, but I tried to get something of everything. There's like 10 more in here I haven't shown you yet, but well, Miss Leanne, I'm glad to have you in any capacity. Some of these are matte. Some of them are shiny. I prefer the matte ones usually, but some of the colors only came in shiny metallic. So I'll have to make deal. I'm really pumped about the gray one. I'm a fan. And then look at these two. This green's a bit different than I thought it was going to be, but that's all right. This orange is delicious. I know, they're good, aren't they? There's a ton. Yes, a ton. So I'll work on getting them into jars and stuff. They're not going to be on the website anytime soon. And by that, I mean not this week. Hopefully next week. I just have to wait till the wax seals come in. Doesn't make sense to release the wax and not the wax seals. But here's a little sneak peek. I guess it's kind of a big sneak peek. You saw most of the colors. But yeah, I got greens and blues and reds and pinks and purples and gray, black, white, clear. I got all the stuff. It's going to be good. It's gonna be good. Okay, I need to make sure that all my little pieces get bundled back up together so I don't lose anything, especially my new image transfers because those worked so awesome. Tuck that in there. I don't want to lose the house. The house would be cool stapled to a tag, this other extra house. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like it on that one. Oh, it's kind of cool on the black background too, but. Oh, that's my other image transfer. Maybe don't put it there, huh? All right, I'm pausing for now. That's it. That's what I got. Do you guys have any questions? If you enjoyed the show, please give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. You can subscribe if you aren't subscribed already. I've had some questions about how to join because I go live 2 other times a week. I go live free on Wednesdays for anybody, just hanging out, chatting with you, doing art, Wednesday nights. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go live with my supporters for an hour each night to do other work. So it usually it's more involved. It has more information. You please are absolutely invited to join me there. And I've had questions about how to join. So if you are on my main YouTube page, youtube.com/DeeDee Catron, there's a subscribe button. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button, and you can become a supporter if you choose. I'm glad to have you on in any capacity, and I just thank you for being here. So supporters, those are you with the green names, I will see you tomorrow night. We will continue to work on the master board. And then everyone else, I will see you next Wednesday live, or you can catch me on Instagram and view some of my YouTube videos and things like that. So thanks for being here, you guys. Good night.